Too a little short for a stormtrooper.
What's up, nerds? Welcome to another episode of the Multiverse Report. We are recapping the week's nerdy news from London to the Iceberg Lounge and everywhere in between. My name is Mike Gibson. With me, as always, is Steve Haller. What's up, Steve?
Well, as you mentioned, we're full on into spooky season, and with that seems to be coming horror content, but not as much, I guess, comic book related content or comic related content as we would have expected. However, we did, anyone who is not watching us live currently, we did just put up 2 reviews on the season finale of She-Hulk and episode 6 of Andor, recapping the last arc there. Both of which I believe Mike and I will attest to the fact that we are both very high on. So go check those out. And if you're in it for that, go check those out. If you're in it for spooky season things, I think Mike's got something off the top he wants to talk about. Yeah,
Steve, I saw a movie this past week. I went opening night, Thursday night. First of all, I gotta say this. I know I'm an old man. Whatever. I miss midnight showings of films. It used to be, the movie came out on Friday. I literally started with, it used to be. Might as well have said, back in my day. Yeah. Back in my day, movies came out on Fridays. And if you wanted to see it early, you had to stay up till midnight on Thursday and see it Thursday night. Now, they say the movie comes out on Friday, but they start showing on Thursday at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, you can just go see it a whole day earlier, and it's fine. I feel like you should, if you're going to start showing movies on Thursdays before the actual release day, it should be like late. It should be like 10 o'clock or later that you have to at least go to. Like late shows.
Well, and that's, I remember even like, for a while, it was, they moved it back to 10 o'clock. So it was like, oh, this is great. Like, we finally get a little bit of reprieve from the staying up till midnight to watch it start.
Right. Now they just come out on Thursdays pretty much.
Yeah, it's like 6 o'clock. You can go see a showing on Thursday.
Yeah, it's easy. Anyway, I saw Halloween Ends, the final chapter in David Gordon Green's trilogy of Halloween films that sequelize the original 1978 Halloween movie, which is one of my favorite movies. This is obviously a horror genre, not necessarily a nerd-related genre, but there's some crossover there in this fandom. And I guess I just wanted to say that I saw this movie, and if anyone else is interested, I'm not going to give spoilers, but I'm just going to throw it out there. I hated it. Really hated this movie.
Did not expect that turn. That was quite the heel turn there, buddy.
Yep, hated it. Saw it with a friend of mine who also likes horror movies a lot. We were both very excited to see it because like we both really liked the 2018 sequel, Halloween, the first one that brought back Jamie Lee Curtis like 40 years later. And then we were both kind of mixed on its sequel, Halloween Kills, that came out last year. And we were, but regardless, both very excited to see Halloween Ends. Billed as the final showdown between Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. And boy, if there's a better movie to talk about, to define as a bait and switch, I don't know it. But
really,
whatever you're expecting out of Halloween Ends,
you're
not going to get it. It's not what it is not what you are expecting. I don't care what you think right now. It's not it. It's not it. It's not what the trailers told you it was going to be, and it's not what you want it to be. Now, I've read several reviews of people that really liked it, but I don't get it. If you liked it, then great. Maybe if you hated the first 2, you'll like this one. If this was the first movie of a trilogy, then maybe I would like it.
Why you liked it. Because
what? Sorry, say that again.
I said if you liked it, like contact us and let us know why you liked it.
Tell us why. Yeah, tell us why, because I need to know why. And I have read several Twitter threads and articles from people that did like it, trying to figure out why they liked it. And basically, they liked it for reasons that I just can't identify with, which is fine. But anyway, if you're going to see Halloween Ends, just prepare yourself for not anything that you're expecting at all. And that's my review of Halloween Ends.
All right.
Yep.
Fair enough. Fair
enough. Like it did. I like clearly like they're saying that this is like the last one.
Until
There's
the
no
next
way
one.
they're not going to make another Halloween movie.
Right.
Like all three of these movies have like, I mean, I guess I don't know how this one's doing box office wise because it's just been this weekend, but like the other two were like successful. So, and it's like a hot like IP, right? So there's no way they're not going to make another Halloween movie. It's just not going to have Jamie Lee Curtis in it. It'll have someone else playing Michael Myers probably. But there's no way it's going to be the last one. But the way I feel about this movie made me think, okay, we don't need any Halloween movies for a while. And I don't think that's what they wanted to achieve. That's what they achieved, at least with me. Like, we can pump the brakes on this franchise.
Right. When they
don't need
titled
any
it Halloween
for a while.
Ends, they didn't really mean for it to like make people want it to end.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm fine if it does. And I feel like when it does come back, it's got to be radically different because this whole franchise is insane. There's like 5 different timelines and an incredible amount of reboots and restarts, and so they'll have to come up with something different anyway. Anyway, I'm talking too much about something that's not nerdy. Let's talk about something that's nerdy but still kind of like Halloweeny and
I was gonna
spooky.
say if you wanna stay spooky, let's switch it over to vampires and daywalkers because why not?
But this time we're talking about a movie that's not coming out anytime soon, and even later than we thought it was going to be originally. Marvel's Blade. If you remember, was it last week we talked about the production troubles? The director left.
Yeah, director
left, and apparently Mahershala Ali was very frustrated with the filmmaking process. The script was short and didn't have a whole lot of action to it, and was not to anybody's liking. Well, guess what? Blade has officially shut down production at Marvel Studios. It is on hold. Assumedly because of these problems that they're having, kind of spinning out of the production troubles that we talked about last week. The film is now on hold, so the studio can quote-unquote get it right. They really want to get it right, which, hey, that's admirable. You want to get it right. You want to make a good movie. You don't want to make, I like Marvel's very stuck in their timelines that they announce, and we've talked about a lot lately how they should, if someone's pumping the brakes, it probably should be Marvel, because we are in danger of starting to hit quantity over quality, I believe. But to their credit, they're not going to rush through on a script that isn't great, apparently, and they're going to put it on hold. So, of course, Blade has been moved. It now is coming out on September 6th, 2024, which is where Deadpool 3 was originally going to come out. So Deadpool 3 is now moving back to November 8th, 2024. I don't know what these next two movies have to do with anything, but Fantastic Four and Avengers Secret Wars are also moving. Fantastic Four was going to kick off Phase 5. Now it will not anymore. It's going to come out Valentine's Day of 2024. And Avengers Secret Wars is also moving. I believe that was supposed to come out in the fall of 2025, a mere 6 months after the premiere of Avengers Kang Dynasty.
Yep.
Now it has been moved in a full year to May 1st, 2026. So instead of 6 months between Avengers films, we will have a year between Avengers films. And man, I think that's a great idea. I don't need 2 Avengers films within 6 months of each other. God damn, Marvel. Come on. Give it a rest.
Yeah, I'm like you said, I'm curious. Like I get why, pushing Blade shifts Deadpool, but
yeah,
like why Avengers Secret Wars got pushed because of it, who knows? Like maybe something happens in Blade or Deadpool or well, I mean if Fantastic Four is getting pushed,
Four,
then
yeah.
I guess I could see it. But if Fantastic Four is getting pushed and Kang Dynasty isn't, but Secret Wars is, like I think they might have just thrown Secret Wars in there because they're like, well, we're announcing pushes, we might as well just throw this in there and see if anybody notices.
Yeah. Also, they don't have a director for Secret Wars yet. And
oh yeah, that was writers that we talked about the other
Yeah, they have a writer, but they don't have a director, and so maybe they're like, well, let's just move this a little bit too,
Right.
because it's
Better
not
safe
just
than sorry.
yeah, and an Avengers movie, any movie's hard to make. It's hard to make a movie. It's hard to make a movie that stars two characters. It's hard to make a solo superhero movie with big budget effects. You talk about an Avengers movie, incredibly hard to write, incredibly hard to service all the characters that you have to juggle. So, without a director, I feel like they definitely need to give themselves more time to get Secret Wars worked out. So I understand that moving regardless of anything else moving. Yep. And I guess you never know. You never know what spins out of Blade that was supposed to affect Fantastic Four or, vice versa. Well, I guess Fantastic Four is coming out before Blade now because it's coming out February 2024.
Wait, what?
Wait, did I get that date wrong? Is that 2025?
It might be 25.
I think I got that wrong. I was just used to typing down fours. Yeah, Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2025. You're right. And so that's almost... Oh, no, it's not almost a year. Because it was supposed to come out in fall 2024, now it's bumped to February. So, why?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
honestly, I'm surprised that Blade didn't move farther.
Yeah, with this much of a... There's got to be something tied to what they're trying to do in Blade. Because otherwise you'd think they'd be pushing it. Like, if it was not interconnected at all, you'd think they'd just bounce it beyond the other two and not have to worry about it.
Yeah. Because we're at the end of 2022. We're almost at 2023.
Right.
And they're still saying Blade without a director and with script problems and with a star that is upset. They're still only moving it to September 24. That's still not that long of a time to make a movie.
Well, and a star of an action film. It's Blade, so I'd assume it's an action film.
You would hope.
Who I think Ali's already late 40s?
Yeah.
So if they want to sign him on for a couple of films, what do you're running out of time here, folks.
I know.
And you push it, you're running even farther. So
yeah. Included a link to this tweet that I saw last week that I thought was very funny, from a film reviewer named Vinny Mancuso. Says, you can tell making movies is nearly impossible because right now some of the best minds in the business are struggling to crack Mahershala Ali fucks up some vampires with a sword.
Yeah.
Which really, if you put it like that should be a pretty easy movie to write.
Seems like a slam dunk.
Seems like a slam dunk, and yet not getting it. And if I had to guess, I'd say the trouble could be trying to fit Blade into a more mainstream MCU timeline where he may not fit.
Yeah.
Werewolf by Night works really well because, he doesn't run into Captain America at the end of it or something weird like that.
Oh, yeah.
This could be a thing where Marvel wants to shove in references or plot lines that are going to end up in Kang movies, and it's really all this movie needs to be is Mahershala Ali fucking up vampires. That's really all it needs, and that's really all it wants. If you get too far away from that, if you make it too big, then it's not really the movie that anybody really wants to see, I feel like.
Yeah, in all honesty, set it in the Werewolf by Night universe or corner of the universe, and then
that's what I assume. But
if a reference makes sense, then reference something. But if it doesn't, don't push it.
Yeah, but we've seen again, this is speculation because they didn't say why the director left Blade. They gave the PR, the friendly PR version of why he left. But we've had directors leave Marvel before for not wanting to put in references to the next movie coming out, which they're famous for doing. I think, Edgar Wright left Ant-Man after working on it for 6 years or something because Marvel wanted to force him to put in references to all this other stuff, Avengers stuff, blah, blah, blah. Famed monster Joss Whedon famously struggled with Marvel over Avengers: Age of Ultron because they made him put in all like the references to like Thor and the Infinity Stones and the cave and stuff like that. He didn't want to do any of that. So it could be that someone just wanted to make a Blade versus vampires movie, and Kevin Feige's like, no, we have to talk about the quantum realm or something like that. It's like, who cares about the quantum realm? Just fight vampires. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If
That's
you want to talk about
speculation from my
Man-Thing
brain, but
and
I feel like it is very possible.
Yeah, if you want to talk about Man-Thing and a cool werewolf, then sure. Like, talk about that all day.
Right.
If Elsa Bloodstone wants to come by and you two go hunt vampires together, awesome. Like, literally fucking awesome.
Yeah,
but
I think it would behoove the MCU to make Blade and the monster corner, like you just said, like the Werewolf by Night, Man-Thing, Elsa Bloodstone, Blade section, make that like a offshoot. Like it's still in the main
make their own monster
timeline, but it's over here.
Yeah.
We don't have to have Blade talk about how he used to love or look up to Tony Stark or whatever. I don't need to hear that come out of Blade's mouth.
No, he just needs to
vampires.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
It. And then somehow bring him in when it's an Avengers time. But like, I don't need a single reference to the main timeline MCU and Blade.
Right.
And I don't know. If I had to guess, I say that could be a reason. Again, I'm just speculating, but it could be a reason that there's trouble in that production.
I mean, we know
they're trying to overthink it and they're trying to force it to be something that's not.
Yeah, we already know he hangs out with Dane Whitman at some point, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see
where it goes.
What else is going on in the Marvel universe? This is pretty big news, I gotta say. I did not see this coming.
I don't know if there's going to be a ton to like rehash on it, but it's landmark news.
I don't think there's going to be anything to really rehash on it, considering we know what it takes for this person to accept roles.
A lot of money.
Harrison Ford, legendary actor Harrison Ford, has been cast or recast as General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I say recast because this role previously held by the late great actor William Hurt until he passed away. We first met General Thunderbolt Ross in The Incredible Hulk. Then he later showed up in Civil War, Captain America Civil War, and Avengers Infinity War, where he played Secretary of State Thaddeus Ross.
Of note, in the original Hulk, do you remember who it was played by? The Ang Lee Hulk.
Yeah, the guy that's a cowboy and everything. Sam
Elliott.
Something.
Yep.
Elliott. Yeah. Sam Elliott. Yep.
I will never forget that mustache because, well, anytime it shows up on screen, you're like, yep, I know him.
He was good. He was good casting for that role.
There was a lot of bad things about that movie. Ross. He was not one of them.
Yes, I agree. William Hurt, obviously he's no longer with us, unfortunately. And I guess I just assumed that we would never see Thunderbolt Ross again.
Right.
But that's not true because someone is backing up a dump truck full of money to Harrison Ford's house, and he's doing it. Harrison Ford will first appear as Thunderbolt Ross in Captain America New World Order, and then he will appear again in Thunderbolts, which
guess that makes sense.
A lot of sense. Yeah, since that's where that team gets their name.
One thing I don't think we're going to see is Harrison Ford as Red Hulk.
No.
Thinking that one might be outside of his repertoire.
Oh, I think if we do ever get to a point where they're introducing Red Hulk, I think someone else is going to do the motion capture for that. I don't think that he's going to.
Yeah.
I don't know that any amount of money could get him to put a bunch of dots on his face and pretend like he's throwing cars around. I mean, he's 80 years old.
Right.
Yeah. And is very upfront. Like, I don't know if you know what we're referencing here. Harrison Ford is very upfront about why he, returned as Han Solo, because they paid him a lot of money to do it. He doesn't care about Han Solo. He's not invested in that character at all. They paid him a bunch of money, and he said yes.
Yeah, the only character it ever seems like he had a genuine affinity for is Indy.
Indiana Jones. Yep.
Well, and that was because he actually, I believe when when Empire was coming out, he wanted them to kill off Han Solo in either Empire or Return.
Oh yeah, he thought he should not come back in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
And
like,
I
my
think
arc
that
is done. Like, don't bring me back, or like if I
Yeah,
come back,
I'm done.
I'm done. Like, kill me off.
Yeah. Yep. Which is why I knew he was going to die in Force Awakens.
Yeah.
When I was like, oh, he's going to... I said to my wife, I guarantee you he dies in this movie because I guarantee you he said, I will play Han Solo if you kill me off so I never come back again.
Right. Which may
and I
also
got
have been
him
why
back,
he was so happy during that press tour. Was like he knew the arc was done. He knew he's done as Han Solo, and they
Yep.
paid him a boatload of money.
Yeah. Except then they brought him back in Rise of Skywalker in a scene that really doesn't make any sense. at
Well,
all.
yeah, I mean, that's most of that movie.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, Thunderbolt Ross. I love William Hurt as an actor. I guess I'm surprised that they're recasting this role because he didn't seem like a crucial character in this version of the MCU. But I do like that he's crucial enough for them to recast. And of course, I love Harrison Ford, so I think this is probably good casting.
Yeah.
For this kind of role.
If
And
they
I
hadn't,
also
if they
like
hadn't
that
spent
they're-
so much time setting up the Thunderbolts, I don't think they would have recast this role.
Yeah, you're right. But I also like that. I like the expansion and the continued focus, albeit maybe somewhat in the background of the Hulk universe, the Hulk side of things. You know, we just finished the She-Hulk show. You can listen to our recap review of it in your feed right now. And you know they want Thunderbolt Ross to come back as well. He's obviously an antagonist for Bruce Banner in the comic books for years and years and years. So I like that they're not forgetting about the Hulks and possibly even expanding on what they can do Hulk-wise in the MCU.
Yeah, they're bringing all sorts of Hulks in.
Yeah.
Many that people don't even know exist.
I know. At this point, also just bring Liv Tyler back. Can we get Betty Ross back?
Yeah, there you go.
Come on. She's still working, right? Bring her
I'd
back.
assume so.
So that's that. We'll see Harrison Ford in the MCU, which is wild. Do you think he's gonna have a mustache? He must have a mustache, right? Or will he be like, "Nah, I'll do it, but I'm not gonna do a mustache"?
I don't know. I mean, it's Thunderbolt Ross, like,
I know.
but it's also Harrison Ford.
It's
so,
Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, no, I'm not. No. Like, okay, fine.
Has Harrison Ford ever had a mustache or anything?
I don't know off the top of my head. I can't really think of anything, but I
I
mean,
feel like
there's
he's always
a
pretty
chance.
clean shaven, or like he's got like scruff as like Han Solo, but
Yeah.
he's never like. I can't think of him as a mustache.
Well,
guy.
when you Google it, yes.
Well, he's had a beard. He had a beard.
Oh
in The
no,
Fugitive.
it's like straight up Tom Selleck mustache.
Really.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
Is it
it's
from
impressive.
a movie or his personal life?
It was. No, I mean everything of him with it is him looking like a news anchor in a suit. So I'd assume professional.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he can rock it, and he actually, now that I'm seeing these, has a very Thunderbolt Ross look to him.
Okay.
So,
Well, then maybe we'll get that mustache. Classic.
yeah,
Perfect.
Sabrina apparently was the movie he had the mustache for, or in or
Oh,
around
really?
that time frame.
I don't recall a mustache in that movie, but clearly I'm wrong. Who knew?
Yeah.
Moving away from Marvel into some DC news, we got a little snippet, tiny little snippet of news on the Penguin series coming to HBO Max at some point. Colin Farrell was out promoting another project that he's on, and was asked about the Penguin series and gave a little bit of a, I don't know, kind of like an update and a little bit of info on kind of where it happens timeline wise. He says, "Quote: It starts a week after the Batman ends. Gotham is still somewhat underwater. I read the first script for the first episode. It opens up with my feet splashing through the water in Falcone's office. Even just that alone, I read it and I was like, oh, geez." He also went on to praise the writer Lauren LaFranc, who has written the series so far, saying that she's a very lovely writer and she's nailing it. Said that She's writing the whole thing and show running, and she's formidable. It's just a very exciting prospect because I love the character and I was greedy with it. I felt like I didn't have enough and I wanted to do it more and more and more. And now I'm finally getting the chance. So that's cool to hear because, yeah, as much hype was around him being cast as the Penguin in the first place, and then when we saw him in the trailers, we were like, what? That's Colin Farrell. He doesn't look anything like Colin Farrell. And in the movie, he was so incredible, so wonderful. Makeup was insane on him. Obviously, we've talked about that a million times.
Yeah.
But he wasn't in it a whole lot. He was in a few crucial scenes, which is exactly how I wanted them to use him. They didn't overload the movie. It was very Riddler focused, and it wasn't, trying to squeeze in too much. I mean, squeeze in a lot. It was a 3-hour movie, but I really liked him as the Penguin. I thought it was a cool take, and he was great. And to hear that he's very excited about it is cool. And to hear this is still moving forward is great. There's, still a lot of uncertainty going on over there at HBO Max, and some, people getting fired left and right over there. So at least this one is still going on. So I'm excited to see Colin Farrell come back as the Penguin. And it's cool that it's a sequel to the movie and not like a prequel, like how he became a mobster. It's like it's what happens after that, and like how he continues to ascend, assumedly, to power, and hopefully will set up where he is in the sequel to the Batman whenever we get that. So I am very down for this.
Yeah, I mean, assuming it actually continues to be in production and continues to be a thing, I'd say it'll be good.
Yeah, I agree. And it kind of does the work of like maybe the second Batman movie doesn't want to have to deal with the aftermath of the flood too much. Oh,
right.
Okay.
It kind of builds in.
Let's let the Penguin series do that. So
right. It builds in a nice little time jump to whatever point they want the next Batman movie to be.
Right.
And with Reeves being tied into the series, like they can all be on the same page.
Right. And then I guess it also kind of opens up the possibility of Robert Pattinson doing a cameo in the series as Batman if it's taking place after the fact. Like I feel like that is probably on the table.
It's weird because I acknowledge that Robert Pattinson was Batman and that I really enjoyed his Batman. But every time we say Robert Pattinson as Batman, it still just doesn't there's some dissonance there. Yeah. Even though like I really enjoyed that movie and I really enjoyed that portrayal. But it's like for some reason I still can't get past it.
Yeah, I gotta watch that again.
Yeah, it's gotta be on the list. Like at this point I can do a nice like throw it up there on the background type viewing.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Like, no, it's got to get seen.
You're doing something else for 3 hours,
right? Yeah, they need to calm down at work. They need to calm down the conference calls and just let me do some work, so that I can like mindlessly do the work while something's on in the background and be good.
Yeah,
but no, conference calls. Got to pay attention to stuff. Come on.
I gotta say, I wouldn't mind if the sequel to the Batman was less than 3 hours long. Like, I like that movie, and I'll watch it again, and I will spend 3 hours of my life watching that movie because it's so good. But like, yeah, you probably could have cut it back a little bit. Yeah. Like, it works as it is. It works as a piece, but you could have trimmed that. You could have trimmed it a little bit more there, Matt Reeves. So maybe try that again.
Yeah, take it down a slight notch.
Yeah, a little bit. Little piece of miscellaneous news. Joe Manganiello. Is that how you say that last name? Manganiello?
Yeah. I'm going to go with it. I think you're onto something there.
Joe Manganiello.
Of
co-directing
True Blood. Actually, of originally Spider-Man fame.
What's that?
Originally Pete Raimi. Sam Raimi Spider-Man fame.
That's true. He was Flash Thompson.
Yep.
So I always forget about that.
Yeah.
He was also in True Blood. Mm-hmm. He was also Deathstroke in Justice League for about 10 seconds. No matter what version you watch, he was in it for about 10 seconds as Deathstroke.
And a giant fucking nerd.
Giant nerd. Also, my favorite work that Joe Manganiello is in plays a fictionalized version of himself in Pee-wee's Big Holiday.
Oh, that's
Netflix
great.
Original film. So funny. He's incredible in it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a couple of D&D live casts too, I think.
Yeah, he's a huge D&D player, outspoken love for it. I've heard him talk about it in many a podcast, many an interview. And now he's co-directing a documentary about it, which is awesome. The documentary is being heralded as the definitive documentary feature about the world's greatest role-playing game. And the team that's developing it, including our man Joe, has apparently access to, quote, 400 hours of archived, never-before-seen Dungeons & Dragons footage from the game's creation in the early 1970s. So I'm not really sure
Wow.
what that means. Like, film of people inventing Dungeons and Dragons, like that would be wild if that's accurate.
Yeah.
Or it's just like early rounds of it being played or something like that. But either way, that would be really awesome.
Yeah, no matter what, like for someone as passionate about it as he is, to be taking this on too, it can't hurt it. I can't imagine. So
Yeah. We got to get another Dungeons and Dragons night on the books.
I'm always down.
Got to figure that out. I know. We just did the one time, but I missed it. I got my character sheets over there. I have my own now.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, Joe Manganiello was quoted as saying, "I lived through the rise and fall and rise again of this legacy brand that has not only meant so much to me, but has served as the fountainhead of creativity for an entire generation of writers, artists, and creative minds influencing so much of our culture." I think that's accurate. I think that's true. And it definitely speaks to his passion for the game and for this documentary, which I think will be really cool.
And I really like if he's going to dive into that angle of it, because when you look into a lot of creatives, it's stuff like tabletop RPGs and things along those lines that become an outlet and become, something that's a bit of a muse for some of these folks. So that'll be interesting to see that take on it.
Yeah, I agree. And I love a good nerdy documentary.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't get enough of them. Moving on into comics. We don't have really any big comics news this week, but this week in your local comic book shops, you got Aquaman Andromeda #3, something I'm incredibly excited about. Another thing I'm incredibly excited about, Batman One Bad Day Penguin #1. It's the third in the series of Batman One Bad Day books. The Riddler book was great. The Two-Face book was great. Here comes Penguin. Can't wait for it. Batman Superman World's Finest #8. Black Adam #5, just in time for his movie to come out this coming week. Captain America Symbol of Truth #6. Carnage #7. Castle Full of Blackbirds #2. Deceased War of the Undead Gods. I forgot to write down what issue that is, but it's going to be there. Deadly Class #56. Sorry, what?
I said it's one of them.
It's one of them. It's one of the issues of that book. It's coming out this Wednesday. Deadly Class 56, Eve Children of the Moon #1, Flash #787, Immortal Red Sonja #7, Iron Man #24, Miracle Man, The Silver Age #1, Nightwing #97, Star Wars Darth Vader 28, Thor 28, and X-Men 16. Steve, you been able to read anything lately?
No. No chance. I'm still literally, my pile is still One Bad Day, Riddler, and the Ta-Nehisi Coates. Like I got one more issue through the trade. That's as far as I got this whole week.
I have started chipping away at my pile of floppies. I read. Do you remember we talked about a few weeks ago? Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Undead or something, written by Bruce Campbell. I bought that and I read that. Finally, it was very good. It was cool. Nice. I feel like I probably am not gonna I'm not gonna keep getting the individual issues. I'll probably just maybe get the trade or read it on the DC app. But I read that. I caught up on New Champion of Shazam, the Mary Marvel book from DC. Doc Shaner on art, which looks amazing. And there was one other one that I just recently read. Maybe it's the Two-Face one that I'm thinking of. Two-Face One Bad Day.
I lied. I did start Strange Adventures.
Oh,
yeah.
Great.
You dropping the Doc Shaner made me think. I was like, what? Why does that sound familiar right now?
I'm excited for you
to
start. It is wildly good.
Nice.
Just wildly good. Very excited about that. Cool. Well, yeah, I'm gonna keep I don't know. I'm gonna keep chipping away. I'm behind on. I got a few Nightwings that I got to catch up on, and Superman, Son of Kal-El, which is wrapping up. I guess that's gonna be moving to Adventures of Superman, Jonathan Kent, as we talked about last week from New York Comic Con. So, my pull list is winding down a little bit. You know what? You know what I'm behind on is Batman, which is insane. I haven't caught up on Batman.
I think I missed 127 somewhere.
Yo, so did I.
Okay.
And I feel like the shop didn't pull it for me, but they told me they did, but they didn't. And then I ended up with something different. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
I got to figure it out. I think I got to go and I got to pick up a back issue of 127 because I don't want to.
If you
jump.
if you find one, grab one for me too. I'll do the same.
Sounds good. Good call. Well, it's weird that we both had the same issue with the same issue.
It might have been that week. I think that was the week Jesse went.
I think it was.
Yeah. So
I think it was too.
I think things might have gotten dropped that week in the shuffle.
I agree. Yeah. Poison Ivy is the other one that I caught up on.
Okay.
So
nice.
I am current on.
Still good.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm up to 5. I think there's only one left. I think, right?
I think it's a 6-issue run, right?
6-issue run. Yeah. The issue 5 was very good. And definitely puts it in a place where it can
set it up for off.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah, I love that book. All right, we only got 2 one-shots this week. This is it's not the lightest of weeks for news, but a lighter one maybe. So, Steve, you want to kick this off? One's not even really a one-shot, just like some stuff we heard. But Steve, you want to kick it off with this first one-shot?
Well, we talked about Immortal Red Sonja dropping this week, and more Red Sonja in the news. Millennium Media has given the first look at Matilda Lutz as Red Sonja in the upcoming film. It's kind of like a back shot over the shoulder with her holding a sword, but not anything that reveals how comic accurate or how what the costume actually looks like or what anything else looks like outside of it's effectively her with a pauldron and a sword, which cool. It looks great.
I agree. I think it looks great. I'll be interested to see what the full costume looks like.
Yeah.
Because
comic accurate would be a little not. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in many runs of Red Sonja, I think she's very famous for wearing what is basically a chainmail bikini.
Right, she's effectively Slave Leia, for most of the run.
Less than Slave Leia.
Well, yeah,
really.
True.
But that same kind of thing. I know in the Gail Simone run, she covers her up a little bit more from time to time. I mean, it's obviously a very sexy character. And is very sex positive character, so and she can be she be written in a way that she's more than just a chainmail bikini,
right?
But I also think that that's a reason why a lot of people read her, maybe specifically cis dudes might be a big reason that they read it. But I can also see putting her in a chainmail bikini for an entire movie. I think would be
mildly
great,
awkward.
Yeah, I think it would not make a ton of sense. I can see maybe writing a scene into the movie where that's what she's wearing, but then covering her up with, some more armor. I think in the whoa, just almost knocked my computer over. But in the shot, she's wearing some kind of shoulder guard armor, so that may be hinting at a little bit more coverage. Which I don't know. I think it would make more sense if she was a little bit more dressed than normal. So we'll see. I'm sure if she is, then we'll get a ton of people online yelling about how it's not
complaining
about
that.
Well, yeah, but who cares? It makes more sense.
People, if the internet has taught me anything, it's literally that people will complain about anything on the internet.
Yep, anything and everything. Last one shot, last thing to talk about. It's not even really news, but we got some first reactions to Black Adam. Black Adam has had its premiere in New York. I think it has or is about to have one in LA at the same time. I could be wrong, but it definitely had a New York premiere. I saw a lot of pictures. I saw a video of Jim Lee drawing Superman on somebody's shirt.
Oh.
Yeah, it's awesome. I would never wash my shirt. I got an original Jim Lee drawing.
Yeah.
Like right on. Yeah, awesome. Reviews early are relatively positive. I haven't heard anything bad about it from the, it's not really, I'm not reading in-depth reviews. I'm just reading first reactions. People are saying it's action packed. It's a lot of fun. It's like, a really fun superhero movie. I'm not hearing anything negative. I'm hearing maybe that it's just kind of like a lot of other, it's not necessarily any more special than any other superhero movies. Doesn't necessarily stand out, but
it's not
I'm still very
redefining the
excited.
power or the what the hell was the catch line that the Rock was dropping, like redefining the power structure of the DC
hierarchy
universe.
of power
Yeah,
in
there
the
you
DC
go.
universe is about to change. Apparently there are a few surprises. There's maybe a cameo or two in the film that fans will enjoy very much. I'm really hoping that I can make it to this weekend without any spoilers. So I am planning on trying to go see it this weekend. So hopefully, whether or not Steve you're able to or have the desire to, hopefully by next week at least I'll be able to give either a spoiler full or spoiler free review of it. We can talk about it.
Yeah, no, we can figure it out one way or
shape, or
another. I have the desire to see it. I do not know if I have the ability, since we're heading south to Legoland this weekend, so
Oh, okay.
it may limit my ability.
Okay. Well, let's sync up. Let me know when you're leaving and when you're coming back, and I'll see. If we can go see it together, that'd be cool.
All right, sounds good, man.
So let's check in. But either way, one way or another, I'm sure we'll be talking about it next week. That is
Yep.
Black Adam, the next big DC movie that has been in development for 15 years. So
How? I don't
wow.
know.
Yeah. And The Rock's been giving a lot of interviews lately talking about how he's very proud of it, how he's so excited about the character. It's one of his favorite movies he's ever done, all that kind of stuff. So he's hyping it big, and I'm sure that'll make a ton of money just because of him, whether or not it's good. Just because, everyone loves The Rock, so everyone's going to go to see it no matter what. So that is that. I'm pretty sure that's all I have. Steve, is there any other like nerdy news that we should be talking about, or anything that I missed? Anything that you wanted to bring up, or anything you watching or reading that's worth talking about? I don't think there's any late breaking news, but
Is there? I'm sure there is. Do I know about it or remember it? Absolutely not.
I
But
don't see anything. I just refreshed my website here. I don't really see much going on. So
yeah, there you go. If you do want to keep up with whatever we've got going, whatever we're thinking or talking or doing, check us out on social media at the Multiverse Report on everything except Twitter. That's Multiverse RPT. You can, check out themultiverseport.com. Get a hold of us at themultiverseport@gmail.com. Beyond that, like, subscribe, and follow and leave us a review on whatever platform you're watching, be it Twitch or YouTube or your podcatcher or whatever. Reach out and let us know what you think.
yeah, please do all that stuff. And until next time, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the multiverse.